Today we're taking a look at a gimbal that I was actually really excited about. It has a great build quality, an awesome lean back design, and it's modular. Stick around. What's up and welcome back everybody. My name is Original Dobo, and if this is your first time here on my channel, I do drone and tech related content. Sometimes I do camera and camera gear reviews, so if that's at all interesting, definitely go ahead, hit that subscribe button before you leave this video. This is the AK4000 from FeiyuTech. They did go ahead, reach out to me and send this out so I can take a look at, and I was actually really excited about this gimbal, and then I got it. And I'm coming from a Ronin S, and before that a Moza Aircross, so all of my comparisons and experience are with those two other gimbals. Now on the surface, this is an amazing gimbal. It has a great build quality. It's made out of all aluminum. It's modular, which means you can adapt it to a dual handle grip, and it has a capacitive touchscreen so you can quickly change the configurations on the gimbal without the need of a smartphone app. So what's terrible about this? Well, it's a bit of a inconsistent gimbal if I had to say so myself. I look for things that are going to be fairly quick and easy to set up, and this gimbal is just not easy or quick to set up, unfortunately. So it all really boils down to the balance situation. And of course, balancing a gimbal, it's pretty straightforward, right? If I take this off of this plate here, it's a little different from the Ronin or the Mozas. But anyways, you'll simply slide it into your gimbal, and then you're going to want to lock it into place. Now with any gimbal, you want to balance all three axes of the gimbal first. And for most gimbals, this is not a hard thing to do. And if you don't get it 100% perfect, it's not going to be an issue. You'll still have some pretty decent balance and you won't get any vibrations. But with the FeiyuTech gimbal, I'm going to show you what happens here as I quickly balance this gimbal out. That looks pretty balanced right there. Make sure that's stable. Little tilt to the side, so I want to go ahead and push it over just slightly. So right there looks good. Let's see how the top balance, and that's pretty good. Maybe just a little forward, just a little bit. Too much. So it's all about a finesse thing here. All right, so that looks pretty good. So I would appear to have this gimbal perfectly balanced. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on. Now when it turns on, it's gonna give like this crazy vibration. And you can feel, well, you can't feel it, but I can feel it, that there's this slight vibration within the gimbal, and it's just the most annoying thing in the world, and it can totally ruin footage. Now, periodically when using this gimbal, it would just forget what it was doing and just start violently shaking, which I have no rhyme or reason as to why. I did reach out to FeiyuTech support, and they basically just kept treating me like an idiot, telling me how to balance a gimbal, which I know how to balance a gimbal. It's not the first time I've done it, but this one seems to really have some struggles with just balance. I mean, you gotta be darn perfect. Now, it's not all bad. Once you do get it balanced, it's not bad. I mean, there are some inconsistencies, but there are some interesting things about this gimbal that no other gimbal has. First off, this wheel here that looks to be a focus wheel can actually tilt the camera up and down, which I think is pretty cool. Haven't seen this on many other gimbals, although I will say it's a little bit more delayed than if you would just grab the actual stick itself. Now the stick is very smooth, so if you want to use this for like B-roll or something, you can totally do that. I do feel at times that the motors bind. Now it does say that it can handle up to an 8.8 pound capacity, which is a lot, but honestly, in using this is on medium settings with this particular rig. I would be hard pressed to say whether or not it can handle 8.8 pounds. I don't have a camera system that heavy, but I would be shocked to see if it can do that. Now the capacitive touchscreen, like I said, is pretty nice. It's great to be able to quickly slide through these menu systems and to go ahead and make adjustments on the fly. You can make adjustments to your speeds, but you can't make granular adjustments like on the Ronin. So the Ronin, you can go through all the configurations and really fine tune it to how you like it. But with the AK4000, you're really just limited to 3 modes, which is normal, smooth, and sport, and that's really it. Now, primarily, I'm using this gimbal for real estate walkthroughs, and one of the big perks of this gimbal is the fact that it's modular. Now, FeiyuTech does sell a dual handle grip, which I am really interested in, and interested in the fact whether or not we'll make this any better, but essentially it just makes the whole gimbal experience much more stable, and the fact that you still have access to that joystick makes that, you know, a sort of interesting purchase. Now, price-wise, they did just knock the price of this back to $499, which makes it much more competitive with the Ronin and the Moza lineup. Zhiyun's a little bit more pricey right now, thanks to the Webuild, but for $499, this is a real hard recommendation. And then when you tack on that $189 additional for the dual handle grip, this just really prices it out of the ballpark of anything realistic. Now, walking through some of these houses, it did fairly decent. I'm actually somewhat impressed with the quality of the stabilization, and the fact that it is so much lighter than my Ronin did make it much more enjoyable when it worked. So take a look at some of this test footage, and I'll be right back. So yeah, closing thoughts on this. It's an interesting gimbal with some really quirky nuances. It feels like the software's not really totally complete, and honestly, it's a really hard recommendation. I wish FeiyuTech would go back to the drawing board on the software and try to implement some changes to make these motors a little less sensitive to irregularities in balance. I think it'll help out new users that are considering buying this and need to balance this on the fly. Either that, or they need to do something with the auto calibration entirely. But if they can get those things straight, I think this could be a decent gimbal, because the build quality is here, the design is here, and the weight is actually pretty perfect. And if they can make this thing just a little bit more sensitive, that'd be great. Oh, and by the way, you can grab this and position your camera in any way you want, which I do like that. That's not even a configuration you need to turn on. It just automatically allows you to do that. But anyways, let me know what you guys think about the footage that came off of this gimbal, and overall, what you think of the FeiyuTech AK4000. Have any of you ever heard of FeiyuTech? I personally have not heard of them up until this point of them sending this gimbal out, but unfortunately, my final thoughts on this is, I think there are better options out there for less money that just work much more consistently. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. As always, stay original.